Hi class, welcome to art. Today we're going to be making handmade art journals, just like this one. Okay, let's get started. You will need some colored pencils, some twist ties, glue stick, a pencil, some crayons, white computer paper, and a paper bag. First, you want to take your computer paper or white paper and fold it in half. I'm using computer paper, printer paper, and I'm going to fold 8 pieces of paper in half. I'm just going to fold it. It's really important to make sure that you line up the top very carefully and then run your finger down like this and then fold on either side. Next, take your paper bag and you're going to make it a little bit bigger than the size of your folded paper. So you need 2 pieces of paper bag. So I've cut apart a big paper bag and I'm going to measure. I'm going to take it up here and I'm going to just check to make sure that my pieces are going to fit. So what I'd like to do is measure here, a little line, and take this over here, measure, same thing, little line, and then I'm going to draw a line connecting these two. And I'm going to cut that off. Now I need 2, so I'm going to just use the one I just cut, and I'm going to cut another one. Okay, I have 2 pieces of paper. I'm going to set one aside. This one has a little rip in it, but that'll be okay. That'll be the inside. Now to prepare my paper, what I want to do is I want to crumple it up. So I'm going to crumple and open. Crumple and open. I'm going to keep doing that. Turning, crumpling, opening. Now my paper is nice and soft and crumpled. I'm going to open it up like this. I'm going to use my pencil to kind of just flatten it out. Then I'm going to fold it in half, like this. Same thing, making sure it's all nice and folded. I'm going to use my pencil to make sure that fold is good. Alright, and then I'm going to take one of my folded pieces of paper. I'm going to put it on top. And this is just so that I can measure how much I need. So I want to save just a little bit around the edge. So I'm going to make a little mark here, little mark here, little mark here, and I'm going to just kind of make it the same as this edge and the same as this edge. Okay, and then I'm going to take my ruler or something straight, so I happen to have this. I'm going to line it up. Actually, I'm going to use this. So I have this. I'm going to line it up with the lines I made and draw a line. So now I know the size of my cover. So I'm going to cut my cover. Cut this cover, this line. Cut this line. Okay, so now this is the size that I want my cover to be. I want to make it a little bit stiffer, so I'm going to add this other piece to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this one in half. Okay, and then I'm going to measure using my other cover. So I want to make sure it's nice and lined up, same size, and I'm going to carefully trace. Good to just, if you need some help, you could ask somebody to hold it for you. All right, so now I have the outline of my second cover. I am going to cut that out. You see, it's a little bit crooked. I can always retrim it if I need to. Okay, so next I'm going to glue these two pieces together. So you can see the inside, these both sides both have writing on them. So what I want to do is just put the glue on this side. So all I need to do is I'm going to use the smooth one. I'm just going to glue, so use some glue stick and be generous with the glue. Go all the way out to the edges and go a couple different directions. Okay, so you want to make sure that you get a good amount of glue because that's going to make your book nice and strong. Alright, so all this glue all over. Notice how I'm going, there's a little tear, that's okay. It's going to be glued down. Okay. Good. So now I'm just going to position this paper on top of the other paper. Remember, the writing side goes together. And then I'm going to smooth it out like this. Use my pencil. We're getting a nice used leathery look for our book. Make it look really cool when we put it together. Okay, so there I have my cover, And at this point, you could decorate it how you want. And you can see, this is how I decided to decorate my journal. There's the front, and there's the back. And here is what it looks like open. So you can decide how you want to decorate your journal. Okay, so I'm letting my journal paper dry. Now I'm just going to set that aside. And now I'm going to put my papers together. So the best thing to do for this is we need to put them inside of each other and connect them. But before we do that, we want to mark where we want to make the holes. So I'm going to make a hole here and here, about 1 finger width apart, and here and here, about a width apart. All right, so that's where I'm going to just start. I'm going to poke the hole with a pencil right on the crease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 page. Then I'm going to take this page, just put it right inside. Make sure that the sides are lined up and that it's right settled, nestled into the folds. And I'm just going to poke again. Again, I want to make sure it's nice and settled here. Okay, so now I can take that bottom one out, and I want to just make a little mark at the top. So this is going to be the top. I know I'm going to line those all up together. So I made a little mark on my paper for the top. I'm just going to go through and do the whole stack of paper. Again, just nestling it in. I want to make sure it's all nestled. You can go like this, and then just open it up, poke, 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 poke. I kept my hand down on the paper so that it wouldn't move. Now that I've done all 4, I make a little mark on the top, and I set that aside. Well, I'm going to go ahead and prepare all of my papers, and when they're all ready, I'll be back. Okay, so I have poked a hole in all of my papers using the top paper as the template. So I'm just going to make sure that I have them all lined up at the top. So remember, I made a little mark at the top here. Just going to line those all up. And make sure they're all coming together. I will check the holes so I can just make sure my pencil goes through completely. They should all line up. If they don't, you can just re-poke a little bit if you need to. We pre-poked all of the holes. Okay, so this is called a signature. We have our signature ready, and the next step is going to be to prepare the cover. So the cover needs to be poked in the same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my cover. It's now a little bit drier. I'm going to fold it in half. Making sure that I line these up. This is a little harder because this paper is a little bit stiffer. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to use my pencil to... Now I'm going to make sure my cover can fit with my paper. So I've folded my cover in half. You can see I have the smooth side on the inside and the kind of rough side on the outside. So I'm going to slip my paper in here like this. Make sure it's all lined up. I'm going to use my pencil to poke again. This might be a little bit harder. You could also just make a little mark through the holes and then open it up, and then make sure that you hook right on this fold. Okay, I'm going to hook right on the fold. And now I'm going to put my book together. So you can see I'll take my signatures, make sure they're all nice and even. I'll put them inside the book cover. Okay, and now what I can do is I can use my twist tie to bind the book. So you might have a twist tie like this, or you might have a twist tie like this. I'm going to use this twist tie. I'm going to show you. I'm going to trim it a little bit. There's a wire inside. The wire is the most important part. So I'm just going to trim off the extra paper that I don't need off of both sides. So it's more like the size of the yellow one I have here. Okay, so either will work. I'm going to use the white one. Okay, and I'm going to cut this in half. You can just cut it in half with scissors. Easy. Then I'm going to open my book. I'm going to put one end of my twist tie through the hole here. Make sure that's lined up. If you're having trouble, just make sure it's lined up with the hole you punched. Put that through. Might take a little effort. Wiggle it through. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. Make my hole a little bit bigger. And put my twist tie through. And you can see on the other side it's coming through, so I'm going to pull it. Both sides. Make sure it's nice and flat here. Okay, now I can do just a little twist like this, and then I'm going to bend these in a little bit to make a little knot. Looks like a knot. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to thread my pencil through, make the hole a little bit bigger. Then I'm going to put my twist tie through, and if you feel like you want to just make this a little more pointy so it goes through, that's fine as well. So I'm just going to help that along. Going through. I need a little help with this. Okay, other side. Trying to make sure we go through. You can also press it a little bit. I have two sides all the way through. Pull it tight. Check to make sure it's flat. If it's not flat, you can flatten it out. Okay. And twist. This. Bend it in. Okay, and now close it up. Flatten it like this. All right, so here's my completed journal. And you can see I have a little bit of an overlap here. I'm just going to trim this edge. Here. I'm going to trim this edge here. All right. And I have a journal to do some artwork. And next art lesson, we're going to be doing work on our art journal. We're going to work on some sketchbook exercises. And don't forget to decorate the cover if you want to decorate the cover. You can see the two sides here. Here's a decorated cover. I also cut the edges. I made them round. You can do that or you can leave it like this. All right, I'll see you next time.